Mr. Steve.
Mr. Chris.
Hey, how's it going, man?
That was a very, very subtle.
Very, very subtle.
It was a little weird. It's like we were dating for a minute. And you always call me Mr. Steve.
Yes. Yeah, you know, you like it.
I sure do. You did take me to breakfast, so hey.
And you paid for the breakfast.
I know. That's what you've got me doing these days. This is how our relationship has evolved.
How it works, man.
Over our time together. Feed me.
Hey, man, Steve.
Yeah.
You just came back from NAMM.
I did.
How was it?
And I'm fairly healthy.
Okay.
Which is a miracle.
You didn't get sick?
Yeah, there's a thing we call NAMthrax.
Yeah.
Which is common to NAMM survivors. And I seem to have dodged the NAMthrax.
Wow.
The worst NAMthrax was 2020.
Yes.
That's one for the books because COVID was going around, but we didn't. So we were all texting each other like, I've never been so sick after NAMM.
Yeah,
Turned out we all had COVID. Like, and didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
Like a month later, we're like, that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So NAMthrax, yeah, I survived. I survived 100,000 people,
man,
in one place talking about music and gear.
Fun times.
We missed you.
I know.
Family sometimes wins, huh?
Man, I wasn't able to make it this year.
Every once in a while, you're like, where's Bob? And he's like, well, his mom got remarried and he couldn't come to NAMM. And I'm like, well, that's probably good for Bob. Like, so yeah, we all have to make a choice every January as to.
So it is what it is.
What the state of our union is, yeah.
I missed it, but next year, of course,
it'll be fairly the same.
Probably.
And everybody's just a year older and more tired.
Yeah. I would say, like, in a way, I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In other ways, I did because of, hanging out with friends and stuff. People, of course, relationships.
Hanging out with me.
Of course. That's what I missed the most.
Obviously. Here we are.
So, but no, for the most part, like just like walking around and like seeing new gear and stuff. Yeah, it's fun, but I can do it.
It's pretty fun.
I can skip a year.
It's pretty fun.
It is. But,
So yeah.
Glad you're back.
I'm back and I'm ready for a pivot.
You're ready for a pivot?
Yeah.
Let's do the pivot.
I missed a pivot while I was gone.
Oh, pivots are fun.
Hit me with a good one.
All right. So subscribe. Like this podcast episode, but most importantly, subscribe.
Yeah.
Because again, we noticed that. I mean, we look at the stats and the analytics of the podcast, especially on YouTube.
Yeah.
Most of you watching are not even subscribed. And that is very, very disappointing.
That's almost as bad as NAMthrax.
If not more.
Ooh, yeah.
So please, if you love this type of interaction.
If you even slightly like it.
Yeah, to the least.
Yeah.
Just like subscribe.
Yeah.
Just a small little click.
It helps.
Very easy.
It helps.
It does help.
Yeah.
So that's the pivot. And also, if you have any questions you want us to bring up on a future episode, there's a form. There's a link in the description of the video or the podcast show note. You can click on, go and leave your questions. And a lot of you are doing it, which is great. So now we're filled with a bunch of questions to answer, which is always, always fun.
Which leads us to today's
So that was
topic.
a lead.
Yeah.
That was a lead.
Today's lead comes from a question. So Danielle Deck, 7946, said, this is interesting, and I think it will lead to a conversation, which might then lead to more conversation online. But he said, I think I can't remember what we were talking about. He's commenting on something under the episode, and I can't remember the episode. But he said, there were no home studios in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. This meant that recordings were much more professional. In other words, the source material was usually very good because it was always recorded in professional studios. As a result, mix engineers didn't need so many tools to make the signal usable. Instead, they could be more involved in the creative process and so on.
Sure.
So the comment being, I think at its simplest form, were the recordings more professional? Did that allow mix guys and gals to mix more freely without 500 plugins on every channel? Mm-hmm. They didn't have isotope.
No.
How did they survive without isotope?
No autotune.
How did anybody live without autotune and isotope?
Yeah.
And then could we say along with that the musicians recorded differently as well? They rehearsed. They got kind of one take onto tape.
Yeah.
And that's what we hear now 40 years later, 50 years later. It wasn't like, oh, we'll do 17 takes and comp the best one. So maybe source material being the audio recording and the performance. We're at a different level or a different place than they often are today. For those of us who are getting lots and lots of tracks to mix,
Sure,
coming from people's bedrooms all over the world,
Yeah.
and apartments and hotel rooms and cars and wherever. So,
Do you agree?
do I agree in a broad sense that recordings were more professional? I think as a whole, they were forced to be more professional, yes. Were they better? That's another question.
Okay, but
We'll come back to that.
define professional then.
So that's what I'm saying. So were they better? That's a different question. Were they more professional? You couldn't, like, you had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody who was making a living recording things recorded them, typically. It wasn't as much of a hobbyist as it often is now. A guy doing his day job and then coming home and recording stuff at night.
Yes, for
Well,
sure.
after his kids go to bed.
Yeah.
That guy wasn't as common. They
Than
were
it
trying
is
to
today.
make a living using this space and the equipment in it. Better, maybe not, right? Like they were using
Totally agree.
the equipment from 60 years ago that many of us, wouldn't even know how to turn on if it was handed to us.
Yeah.
So we could set that aside for a second. So professional, defined professional, to your point, I don't.
Because sonically, there's a difference for sure. When we listen to productions from the 70s and then with today's pop and commercial productions, we're in a totally different world.
They're unrelated. They're not
Totally,
even
yeah.
like in the same family.
Yeah, so some stuff have evolved in a good way, sonically,
Yes.
but other part of the production suffered
Right.
since then, And I'm talking more about creativity and the freedom of creating music
Yeah.
in the studio
Yeah.
as a band, for example.
Yes.
And that was a common thing back in the 70s and 60s and 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, and you hear the stories about, it was Fleetwood. I can't remember which one it was. Rumors, one of those. And it was like they spent, 1,000 hours in the studio or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So those, the better versus better. So, right, we're fighting on two fronts right now to answer this. We're fighting on the, did the Fleetwood Mac records sound better, or were they just better records when you press play?
Maybe better songwriting.
Better songwriting,
Yeah.
deeper thoughts,
Better arrangements.
Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of hours,
Yeah, for sure.
which doesn't always equal better.
No.
People hand me a song and they're like, I've worked on this for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then you press play and you're like,
It's not going to work.
that's 4 years you'll never get back. We've all had that or
for
done
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I've done that too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I've done the 400 versions of this mix and the first one was the best, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah,
So
for sure.
where do we go with this? Okay, to your question, that's a good one. Define professional. I like that. You asked me that.
But it depends. Like sonically speaking, a professional sound like today, in 2026, is probably not going to be the same as it was back in the 70s.
Right.
So this is why I'm asking define professional. Like a professional, he was asking about the recording itself, better recordings, a more professional recording. That was the
better
comment.
better source material.
Better source
I think
material.
that's the way to put it.
So back in the day, yes, the gear was they had access to awesome gear that people are still work with and
selling their kidneys
selling
to afford.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. They're always looking for that type of gear, and even plugins are emulating that gear.
Yeah.
So there's a thing there. The studios people were recording in big studios more than home studios.
Yeah.
So there's that for
Yeah.
sure. But does that mean that someone recording his home studio or bedroom cannot achieve a professional recording?
God, I hope not, because that's what everybody's doing.
I know.
Every record I love was done in somebody's
I
living
know.
room on a weekend.
Because I think and I assume what he means because a good recording is, the technical side of it, good mic placement, nice control dynamics and all that
Yes.
stuff, okay? But there's also the performance. There's also the feel, the emotion, all that stuff, surrounding the recording itself.
Yeah.
And this is what he's actually pointing out and talking about, because you listen to those old songs and old hits, and for a lot of them, you kind of feel something different than today's productions.
Okay, so we've separated, I think, into two camps.
I would
this
say so.
idea. The
I would
one
say so.
is the people and the production and the product.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
the other one is the sonics. And so I think the sonics, maybe the way to look at the sonics, because as you were talking, the popped in my head was the bar has been raised
Totally.
on sonics.
Totally.
Right? And even if you do a retro sound, a Daft Punk thing where you're doing the 70s, I'm walking around NAMM and everybody's checking headphones and speakers using Daft Punk mixes as a mix reference in 2026 at NAMM, right? So you've got a 70s production from this camp in Daft Punk being done with today's technology with the raised bar in this camp. So maybe that's it. So where maybe in modern times we need to put more energy into our thoughtfulness.
A lot more.
And in that camp and work harder at that camp, and again and again and again we go back to AI, right? And so that's that maybe we need to deepen that well as creative humans and dig deeper there and then just let this bar keep rising.
Because I'm going to go back to the point you made earlier about there was not a lot of stuff to work with. And we have lots of distractions, like a bunch of plugins, a bunch of tools. And I think one big mistake is that we focus a lot on those tools when creating music.
We depend
on them, but we have so much in front of us that we kind of get lost.
Yes.
And we get buried inside all those tools, So, and that kind of gets us away from the creative side of things, And this is... I think this is what matters, and this is what is the huge difference, I would say, with today's productions and older productions. At the time, they didn't have access to a bunch of waves, plug-in bundles, and isotope, and all that stuff, which are amazing tools. But at the time, you have you have a console, you have guitar amps, a bass amp, drums,
and the people
and talented musicians, interaction within musicians. And now it's, okay, let's just do something and make something out of it.
And now the drummers in Prague and the bass players in somewhere else and that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everything is done remotely.
Yeah. We're making records on Dropbox.
Yes, which is fine, which is great. It's something else.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
But, does that take away from us having more, rumors? Level records, right?
Exactly,
And then, these things done in the Capitol basement, right? Where the whole orchestra and the singers and everybody's in one room and the guy just gives the downbeat and that's what we hear, 60 years later in one take at Christmas.
A lot
with
of
Nat King Cole standing there singing in front of an orchestra, right? Like
these,
this magic. So
there was a lot of human factors.
I guess, maybe that's because the tools are awesome and the tools are making better recordings.
Yes.
Sonically.
Some would argue, like we're talking about,
sonically. But all the tools we're using are emulating. It is a weird circular firing squad, right?
I know.
And so it's just a hard question. It's an impossible question to answer. Because the first thing we started with is what is better? Or what is professional,
exactly.
right?
We started with those. Recording?
I think I said what's better and you said what is professional.
Because he's talking about recordings.
Correct.
High quality recordings.
Correct.
They sounded better,
But they didn't.
I don't think they did.
You go back and, you listen to modern metal or modern rock, and then you go back and listen to old Ozzy, and you just go, right? It's just it's a guitar and a bass and a drummer in a room, and they're playing music. And sonically, you just kind of go, when you do it side by side. Mm-hmm. But were they better records? Some would say yes.
The soul was there.
Right? So is that as far as we get with this?
I think so. I would say, I would finish and land this plane.
It's more of a crash. It's more of a head between your knees, breathing into the paper bag.
Yeah. No, I think this is something we need to get back to.
Yeah.
Getting the soul back in music. And I think you talked about AI briefly. We're going to an AI era.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
It's here. It's going to be even more intense. And if I can say, save us or help us to evolve with that new era is our soul. Is that side of us being human that we have to bring back and maybe emphasize a bit more on it, like recording live instruments, put on a mic a freaking amp instead of using a VST amp, there's nothing wrong on that, but if you have an amp and a microphone, use it.
I'm gonna have to watch some videos on how to do that.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I forgot.
I have a course.
I forgot. Oh, you do courses.
I do courses. I can help you with that.
Yeah. I have to watch you do stuff. It's like I go home from here and then put you on and have you just talking at me while I'm trying to record a guitar.
Oh man.
So, and last follow-up question that I think here, this could be an online conversation question to me is do less tools lead to better this camp recordings, right? So sonically we know we can do stuff with all the tools, but do less tools. If you take all those off the table, if you take away isotope and all the corrective stuff, as you're recording, you're like, oh, I'll just get that later. I'll fix it later. I'll fix it in the mix. If we take that out of the equation, no fix it in the mix for everybody's next song.
You are going to do things differently.
What? Yeah. And then where does that road lead to? And could that be a fun
experiment?
Could that be a fun experiment? Which actually leads to a question that I saw.
Okay.
Tell a joke. I'm going to pull this up.
All right. Okay, it's a story of a guy enters in a bar, and that's it. That's all I have. Are you laughing?
Is there a priest and a?
There's something.
Okay, yeah. This was the one. This is it. So it connects nicely. So S. Conway, 2 weeks ago, according to my note here, we love S. Conway.
He's great.
S. Conway's part of our studio stuff fam. We have a few people that are just
it's getting together, man.
Yeah, they're like for old folks. He's like Norm at Cheers. It's just sitting there at the bar, chatting with us. He said. We were talking. We did a topic on how many plugins we use on a vocal chain, or it was something about how many plugins.
Yes.
And his comment was, and it's interesting. He said, "The how many plugins question will change if you do or don't use a channel strip." On your chain. And I thought that was interesting. I tagged that one.
That's a great question.
So do you go into it with channel strip in mind and start there? Or a bunch of plugins that create a channel strip of your choosing. And I know you're a channel strip advocate of late.
Yes.
I've heard you mention it.
Yeah, I did.
We talked about that. Tell our friends where you're at with channel strips.
It's been like a couple of years since I started to just add a channel strip as the first plugin on a channel.
And is yours the Cubase?
No, just usually it depends.
Okay, it depends.
It depends.
But
I used to use the Sheps Omni channel, the Waves version. It was great, like 3 different compressors. It's like saturation, all that stuff. So it was a very good channel.
Sheps is going places,
Yeah,
man.
for sure. Then I switched to the SSL Console E. And the Brainworks version.
And when you switch to a new one, does it go across the whole mess, or are you mixing and matching channel strips?
I try to it doesn't matter, but I try to keep the same all over the...
Do you do that emotionally, psychologically, or do you do it sonically?
No.
Okay.
No, totally not sonically.
if you put 16 of the same across, does it change the sound? As if you had 16 different companies?
It depends what I put on. If I put like a G series, SSL G series, it's going to sound a bit different than an E series if I do it across the board.
Because there's something about...
And the EQ curves also react differently from G to E, and stuff like that,
So two things just came out of this sentence. One, there is something cumulative about...
There is.
About stacking them.
Yes.
I put one on, and I'm like, it's just a thing.
It's a plugin.
You put 24 of them across.
It adds up.
And it adds up. And it changes the sound of your end results.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that is worth playing with or not, if you're into that. And I know a lot of people, I was just, I can't remember who it was. One of the big dogs at NAMM. I caught a seminar. It'll come to me in a minute.
All right.
But that was his thing. He's like, I just across the whole thing. And he's like, that's kind of where I've landed in my life. He said, I use 4. I might have to put it in the notes. He's like, I'm down to 4 plugins. He named the 4. And he's like, that's it. And he's
it's getting back to the old
super
days,
hitmaker guy. And
Yeah.
he's like, that's where I've landed at this point in my career. And so there's something about that cumulative effect that people are starting to appreciate.
Yeah.
Because it takes us back to the console sound days a bit.
Yes. And if you want to go a step further, there's like the I think the Brainworks.
That TR
Exactly.
or whatever it's called.
Yeah, where like every channel you can actually select a different channel.
Slightly scrambles.
Yes, which is pretty cool. So you can have like 25 or 24 SSL.
And am I right? They
E-series?
each introduce a touch of chaos.
Something like that. Yeah.
Separate,
so just
different,
a slightly bit different,
like an analog,
like it would be in real life.
Yeah. So that was one. The other thing you said that that my brain twigged on is if you put one channel strip up versus another one, you make different decisions with what you hear.
Yes.
So as soon as you're like, I'm going to brighten this, when you turn the brightener on a Neve, it's different than on an SSL.
It is.
It's just a different version of bright.
Exactly.
And that changes the sound, again, cumulatively.
So the whole thing and the whole idea of working with a channel strip is also to live with limitations and to be faster, to
which is the conversation we just had.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
where that came from in my mind.
Exactly. That was a great pivot.
Because if you had only a channel strip on every channel, how different would your mix sound? Mm-hmm. And could that be a great challenge?
It would be. We did that with MCC.
As a learning exercise.
We did that. You need you choose only 4 plugins or 3 plugins, and that's it. That's all you use. But yeah, channel strips. You have like sometimes a preamp level. You get a bit of saturation, harmonic distortion. You have a compressor, sometimes a limiter, depending on the strip. You have a 5-band EQ, filters, high pass, low pass filter, a gate. So there's a lot. There's a lot you can do with a channel strip that was going to save you on loading a bunch of plugins.
Yep.
And force you also to work within that little limitation. The EQ is not like a FabFilter EQ. Okay, it's not as flexible as a digital EQ.
Which has its advantages.
It has its advantages.
If you don't see the bumps,
yes,
you don't hear the bumps as readily.
Yeah.
You have to listen for
a bit
the bumps.
more. Yeah, for sure. I actually downloaded the plugin. It was a free plugin at the time. It's probably still around. But the plugin was like a kind of an SSL type of EQ, 5-band EQ, with knobs, colored knobs, no numbers.
Oh, see, I love this.
No number. I made a video on that years ago, but no numbers.
Do they still make it?
I'm pretty sure they do.
You should.
I'll have to check it out.
You should see. I'm looking it up. It's coming to me. John Castelli.
John Castelli.
Okay, yeah, the guy was John Castelli.
All right.
Jon Castelli.
Okay.
And he's one of those like, I was like, John Cass. He's cool. He's super interesting guy. He did one of those Mix with the Masters kind of live seminar things, and somebody got into this kind of topic with him, and he's like, I'm down to 4, and he named the 4, and that's it. And so there's something there where he's just, he's got 18 Grammys or something at this point. And so he's, some of these guys have circled back to, he's like, I went through the era of all the plugins, and he's like, I'm just working faster and more efficiently when I know each tool really well.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all the way down to like one of them is a reverb, right? So it's like, it's pretty cool.
It is. It just helps you to keep focus on what's important in the mix.
Because at the end of the day, right, you're EQing, you're compressing, in his case, he's got a kind of saturation thing, and then he's adding reverb. And
there you go.
And there's your record. There's your console right there. That's a console.
I love it.
Right, so there's something to that that might be worth playing if you're not playing with it, like me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this challenge myself and just channel strip it.
There you go, man.
And maybe the fun is, maybe this community challenge. Take it doesn't have to be a complex song, but take a song, channel strip it only, and then restart it and do it without that channel strip anywhere. And then A/B your mixes and see what you like. I'm going to challenge myself right there. That's going to be a fun one.
So that
channel
means,
strip only and then no channel strips.
That means mixing the song twice.
Mixing the song twice.
With different approach.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And if you did it with all the plugins first and then tried, because your mind is going to naturally try to emulate your first mix.
Yes.
So maybe you try
and the question is not about like which is the mix B better than mix A. It's like, is your channel strip version a good enough version?
Does it hold up?
Does it?
So maybe do the channel strip version second. Because you're going to start chasing what you did before.
No, you're right.
Naturally. You're going to be like, I like this when it's brighter. And you're going to try to make it happen.
Yeah. The same can be done with only using stock plugins.
Yep.
You don't use any premium plugins.
Yeah.
Only your Cubase or Pro Tools or Logic plugins.
Yep.
The first, like my mixing course is all about that. Just I use only the stock plugins. And the goal is very simple. Just focus on the right things.
Yeah.
You know how a compressor works.
Yep.
And when and how to use compression.
You have to start deciding
EQ is like
why you're doing things.
Yeah.
Not just throwing things at the wall.
Exactly. You focus more on that.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I always got common questions about people. Hey, I'm not using Cubase, so maybe your course is not good for me. Actually, you know what? Actually, it doesn't matter. because you're going to use your own plugins. The
Yep.
plugins you have in your own DAW, whether it's Studio One or Fender Studio Pro now.
Yeah.
They changed.
Yeah, I heard.
Or, Pro Tools or whatever.
Is it that the if I take your course, do I have
Because
to
the course is not about the tools.
Yeah.
It's about the concept of mixing.
maybe they just don't want to watch the guy teaching the course.
That could be a thing.